Hi, so I'm here with Anaya Peoples, who's currently in Portugal, enjoying her first pro season. And how's life in Portugal so far?
It's beautiful. I landed in a perfect spot for me. I love the team. I love my coaches. I love the city. I mean, I didn't know what to expect coming into my first year as a pro, but it's been nothing less than amazing. And I'm so grateful for where I'm at and, the opportunity I have to play here. So just extremely blessed and I'm soaking everything up, living in the moment and enjoying being a pro athlete for the first time. So.
Yeah, and your stats seem to confirm that. I mean, 19 points, 9 rebounds, 5 assists, 4 steals per game. Uh, how does it how does it feel to be on that pro level? And because it's like quite different than the NCAA,
Oh, yeah.
and how does it feel to be as good when you're a pro? Because you've already been good at the college level, right? At high school level, obviously. At some point, you were the number one point guard in the nation, right? So, how
Yes.
does it feel to be able to uh, just rise, like change levels, but still be at the top of your game?
Yeah, that's a good question. So I feel like as an athlete from grade school, elementary, high school, college, I've been prepared my whole life to continue to change and evolve as a player and rise with the circumstance. As every athlete, you have your ups and downs and games and, seasons. But right now I'm just really enjoying the game. And I think I can contribute that to, how I'm playing. I fell in love with the game again. And right now it's just showing, through my stats, I guess you could say, but I'm also surrounded by, great players. Like I said, I'm at the pro level. In college, you're surrounded by great players, but now you're surrounded by grown women, maybe 10 years older than you at, on some teams. And so I'm learning, I'm evolving, and they're pouring into me. And I'm just really like feel like I'm shining through my sport right now. And that's just a testament to how well, this team has, just welcomed me and made me feel, comfortable and able to play my game. And honestly, I'm just, oh, my earring fell out. But honestly, I'm just, um, feel like personally, it's because I feel like I'm in a good spot mentally and I'm able to show that through my sport.
Yeah, and the thing that it's probably the hardest is the physicality. I guess like
Mhm.
when you move from high school to college and then from college to the pros. So how
Oh, for
did you
sure.
adapt to physicality? Did you like
Yeah.
put in extra work, focus on, I don't know, like your core, or what did you do to adapt to that?
Yeah, so in the summertime before I, came to Portugal, I had a trainer. His name is Tay. He's out of Chicago and we worked so hard. And also my other trainer, Tay was my basketball trainer and I had a strength and conditioning trainer, Derek Baker. And I mean, I was with them for countless hours, putting in work because at the pro level it is more, physical. Like I said, there's grown women out here where it's a different level to this because this is a livelihood now. This is our jobs. It's not just being a student athlete. Now you're fully an athlete, a professional athlete. And so just preparing that, my body, but also my mind. That was the main thing. I mean, it's a different level mentally. So I mean, a lot of work went in on and off the court. A lot of journaling, a lot of talking, meditating, and then also the work, like you said, core workouts. Strength. Not, I don't lift a whole lot of heavy weights, but focusing on core balance. Small muscles, and just trying to go out there and stay healthy, but
Mhm.
also be strong and dominant at the same time.
Yeah, since we're talking about being healthy and you being in Portugal and being a pro comes with a lot of temptations. Like in Portugal, the main temptation is probably pastel de nata, as it is called. So, did you already try their famous dessert and did you enjoy
I
it?
I have.
Okay.
I indulged in it quite a bit actually at the beginning. And it's crazy because I've been here for 4 months, I want to say now. And I really allowed myself to, eat the desserts, eat the pastas, eat the bread, the carbs and everything. And then I was like, okay, I really need to focus on, my body and what I put into it. So now I'm actually started just, I don't know if you've heard of like the 75 hard challenge where it's a discipline thing.
No, no, no.
Okay, yeah, it's
Can
like a
explain?
discipline.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a discipline challenge. You can read 10 pages of a book a day, stick to a healthy, diet or meal plan, 10,000 steps a day and like two workouts. So right now I'm challenging myself with that because like I said, I'm a pro athlete and I have all the day to myself now. I'm not, dividing my time with school and other outside stuff. So I indulged in all the desserts and the pastas and everything, but now I'm, focusing more on what I put into my body and a little bit more strict with it. And just indulging every now and then, not as much, not
Hmm.
every day like I was.
Yeah, and why is it called 75? Is it like 75 days or
Exactly. 75 days.
okay.
My friend actually told me about the challenge, so we're actually doing it together. So just something, to keep your mind. And I think it's a good discipline thing as well. So.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Okay. And can you just like let's move back in time. Can you pinpoint the exact moment in which you knew that you were going to turn pro? Or what was it like? Did it happen gradually or suddenly?
When I knew I was gonna turn pro, I can tell you that
Yeah.
I've always wanted to be a pro athlete. That was always a dream of mine, since I was a little girl, actually. And just being around my family, if my mom played 2 years at a junior college for basketball. My dad played at Sam Houston State, James Madison University. He coached me. He coached my sister. My sister played 2 years at the same JUCO college as my mom, actually. And so it was always around me subconsciously, whether I knew it or not. My dad probably handed me a basketball out the womb, but basically it was always around me. And from a young age, I knew I wanted to be a pro athlete. I wanted to be a pro basketball player. And so, I mean, that has always been the goal. So once I graduated college and after our last game, actually, we were right to work agencies and where I could, land. I got to play in the All-Star game at the NCAA Final Four, where there was, WNBA coaches there watching, there was agents watching, overseas coaches watching. So from that moment, I was like, okay, this is possible. I found my agent, who I absolutely adore, Aaron Lockett, and he helped me. He laid out the options for me. And sorry. And yeah, at that moment when I knew it was possible, I was like, I'm going for it.
Okay.
But always I've had that in my mind.
Okay. And you already told us how influential your dad was, like on your career and even at the beginnings of your career. So how did you guys manage to differentiate between
Hmm.
dad at home and coach
Yeah.
at school?
Well, if I sat here and I told you, oh, it was so easy. I mean, he could yell at me on the court and we would be best friends at home. That would probably be the biggest lie of 2025. So, to say the least, it was extremely hard. Just completely being truthful. And if another athlete whose parent coaches them, they can probably relate. It's so hard because I'm looking at my dad, looking at my coach as the eyes of my dad, though. Like, no matter what you do, I'm not calling him coach dad. I'm calling him dad during practice, during the game. And that's how I see him. So no matter what, it's hard to take those glasses off or take that hat off and see him as, oh, this is just my coach. It was difficult, and I don't regret playing for my dad at all. I love playing for my dad, and now I'm more appreciative of it than ever. But just knowing, like, at the end of the day, you mess up, you're getting yelled at. It's not just by your coach. Now you're getting yelled at by your dad as well, and you're going home to him.
Yeah.
And when you're down your coach and your dad at the same time, sometimes it can be really, really, challenging and hard. But overall, I grew as a player and I grew as a person, and it grew our relationship so much because once he stepped away from being my coach, literally in high school, my last high school game, and he just became my dad, our relationship had just took off
Hmm.
crazy. He was allowed to talk to me in ways that I didn't see him as a coach anymore. I just saw him as my dad, just giving me advice, talking to me, showing me love, being supportive. No matter what, I didn't see him as a coach because he wasn't my coach anymore. So I
And
mean,
what? Yeah, I'm
yeah.
sorry.
No, but
No,
overall
go on.
that completely, helped our relationship, and I'm so thankful for him and the love he poured into me, and it was good for us. It was truly good for us.
Yeah, but it sounds pretty tough. So were there like moments when you guys would, for example, argue during a workout, but you didn't want to get like mom involved. So after school, did you like ride in the car together? Let's go to Dairy Queen or let's go to Wendy's and just, let's
Yeah.
chill, let's talk it out. And then when we return home, we'll pretend in front of mom that everything will be fine. Well, not pretend, but maybe just, like the
Mhm.
atmosphere will be less dense. Were there
Yeah.
moments like that? Okay, okay.
I mean, so it's a basketball family, right? And like you said, getting yelled at in the game, I can remember instances where so and so, little Miss Stacy over here turned the ball over 3 times, but he's yelling at me. And I'm like, I didn't turn the ball over, Dad. He's like, yeah, but you gave it to her in that position to turn it over. I'm like,
Yeah.
okay, I can't win with you, So for that instance, like that's a scenario. But coming from my family is very involved. My mom is involved, my brother, my sister, all involved with, basketball in our lives. So there wasn't too many times where we could keep it from my mom, actually. So she knew. Oftentimes she was sitting on the score table right next to the bench.
Okay. Okay,
She
so
heard
she knew.
everything.
Okay.
So she knew, but I praise my mom because the way she balanced everyone out was incredible. She deserves her flowers, her roses, because the way she handled us and our bickering and back and forth, she did really well at just keeping everyone level headed and balancing everyone out. But yeah, the Dairy Queen was spot on though. There was a lot of times we would go get
Okay.
ice cream, after workouts and games. I don't know if I said this in the interview once
No,
before,
no,
but
no. I just
oh,
just for
that's
the yeah, yeah,
crazy.
yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
actually, that's how my dad would get me to go to the gym at a young age. We would go work out, and we would go to Dairy Queen right afterward and
Okay.
get some
Okay.
ice cream.
Okay. Let's talk about one thing from the year 2019 because uh is it I'm not sure about it because I always get those things confused in newspapers, but you are like back to back champions in high school? I remember that
Yes.
correctly. Okay. So you were second in Miss Basketball voting in 2019, right?
Okay. Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah.
only
Feels like so
behind
long.
Bria Bill. Yeah, a long time ago. It
Hmm.
seems like a long time ago. You had, I
Yeah.
think, I looked it up even today to make sure. You
Mm.
had 170 points and Bria Bill had 322, and the next player got like 50. So,
Oh,
as the
wow.
best player on a back to back champion, do you think that you were robbed of the title of Miss Basketball?
No,
Or
I
not
mean,
really?
no, Bree's a great player. I met her. I played with her actually. I played with her at Midwest Elite in Chicago, and then
Hmm.
we were both Jordan Brand athletes, McDonald's All Americans. I mean, she absolutely deserved it. She was playing 1 through 5 in her spot. Went to South Carolina, won national championships. I
Okay, yeah.
mean, in my eyes, make or Miss Illinois, I almost said McDonald's All American. Miss Illinois wasn't the main goal. I wanted to win championships and go to college on a full ride scholarship and
Yeah.
win there. So I mean, obviously you're so thankful when you do get the accolades and the trophies and the acknowledgement for all your hard work. But at the end of the day, I mean, out of all the players in Illinois, I mean, there can only be one. And I think she honestly deserved it. She played at a big school against really good competition, big competition as well. And she excelled and did what she had to do. So her flowers to her because she did deserve that.
Okay, okay. But still, the MVP should be the best player on the best team. But okay, okay. It depends. I mean, it depends. Okay. And you were ranked, I think, 21st in the country by ESPNW in 2019. And do you remember? So that's like, wow. Yeah. Do you remember what schools recruited you? Like, what campuses did you visit apart from the ones that you picked
Yeah,
eventually?
yeah, for sure. So I had almost every conference of schools. I took visits close to home from Illinois, Purdue, Michigan, Michigan State, Iowa, Kentucky, Notre Dame, DePaul, all the way to South Carolina, Yukon, Tennessee. Um, can't even remember all of them now,
Okay.
but a lot of schools, a
So, what
lot of
were
great.
your criteria then, if I may ask? What were your criteria
Yeah.
of making your choice?
So also remember this is from a 15 through 18 mindset too as well.
Hmm.
So as you grow, you grow, you evolve, you change, your ideas change
Yeah,
too. But
because you were recruited pretty early. That's also kind of
exactly.
worth
Mhm. Yeah,
noting.
my
Yeah.
first offer was in seventh grade,
Seventh
actually.
grade. Yeah.
Yeah.
I remember
So
that.
I
Yeah.
mean, trying to figure out where I was gonna make a decision first at 18 years old is crazy in itself. But deciding where I was gonna go, my family had a lot of help, like helping me figure things out. And we made a pros and cons list. Things location was huge. I didn't want to be too far from my family. I wanted them to be able to come to games, my grandparents to see games, my family and friends to see games, supporters. Um, the school itself, the academics. Are they a good academic school? How do they rank around in this area? Also, the team, the program. Are they doing well? Are they evolving? Who's the coach? I mean, who's coming in? What position? There was a lot of
Hmm.
things that went into it. What style of play do they have? Do I fit into this type of system? How long has the coach been there? How long will she be there? Or he be there? So there was a lot of things, and those were the main things that we really looked at, and we really felt like Notre Dame had all of them, except for the good weather. But I mean,
Yeah.
but yeah,
You're making up for it now, so I guess yeah,
yeah, that is so
that's
true.
pretty cool.
That is very true.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so you picked Notre Dame, and after your freshman year, the coach that recruited you is gone.
Mhm.
So Coach McGraw is gone, and now Coach Ivy is your coach. So first, how did the coach's like decision to resign uh, and looking for a word here, sorry, affects you? Yeah, affects you. Thank you.
Mhm.
Affects you like mentally, and how did you adapt to playing for a new coach? Because it's always hard. Like the person who wanted you there is suddenly gone, and you have to impress a new person, right?
That is so
So
true.
yeah.
It's hard for all athletes across the board. Your head coach leaving or changing, it's always, a difficult situation because that's who you committed to. That's who you saw yourself playing for. But my freshman year, I had a great start to my freshman year. I was making freshman of the week. I was averaging a really good amount numbers, points, and rebounds, and I was playing well. I wasn't playing my position. I committed as a number one point guard, but I said I would do whatever this team needed me to do. And we had lost a lot of players, and I was playing around 3-4.
And if
I
I
mean,
may, yeah, if I may ask you, how did you adapt to that? Because it's really
yeah,
hard when you're a point guard. It's like a special position. Like moving
exactly.
from two to three, that's
Yeah.
way easier than like
Yeah.
one to two and one to three. So maybe we can stay
Yeah.
here for a moment.
Yeah. Yeah. I came in and like I said, we had lost a lot of players previously to the draft. They did so well and they went to the draft.
Hmm.
I came in and I was like, you know what? I'm gonna do whatever I need to do to be on this court. I'm gonna rebound, I'm gonna defend, I'm gonna score when I need to. And that's exactly what I did. And that's what Coach McGraw needed me to do. And I was there for her, I was there for the team, and I said, this is what I'm gonna be for you guys. And so that's how I ended up kind of shifting over to that position because we had a great point guard from Stanford come in, Marta Sneezik. She played, and we had another guard from North Carolina, Destiny Walker, come in, and they just needed me as a bigger player. I was one of the bigger people on the team, actually. So I adjusted to my role, and I said, whatever this team needs me to do, I'll do it. And that's kind of what happened. I ended up, trying to get a rebound, and my shoulder got pulled out halfway through my season, and season-ending injury. First one ever in my life. I've never had a season-ending injury. I never had a surgery before that, so that was super hard to do, go
Like
through.
never
But
been to the hospital, probably
no,
only as a
no, other
child.
than like a little ankle injury, I guess you could say.
Okay,
But
okay.
yeah, so going back to your original question,
Hmm.
adjusting from, oh yeah, so my season-ending injury, and then COVID hits that same year.
Yeah.
And then Coach McGraw leaves. So it's like bang, bang, bang. And when Coach McGraw left, I was absolutely devastated because she's a class act, beautiful woman inside and out, beautiful soul. And I absolutely adore Coach McGraw. Um, she leaves and it's like, dang, like, okay, starting over. But I'm ready. I love Notre Dame. I didn't only commit to Coach McGraw, I committed to Notre Dame as well. And I committed to my teammates. So I was like, let's go. I'm ready for it. Now adjusting to Coach Ivy coming in. I knew Coach Ivy before great person, great woman. Her first year, she's dealing with COVID as a head coach. We're all dealing with COVID, actually. The protocols, the guidelines, can't be around each other more than 5 minutes, it feels like. You're wearing a mask. I'm also adjusting myself, coming off a shoulder injury, trying to learn how to shoot again. Uh, Mind you, I had rehab and recovery in my basement because everything was closed during COVID. So I had a tennis ball doing little arm circles and some bands, and that was about it. And so
It's
making that
crazy.
adjustment, adapting, it was hard for everyone. Everyone had to give themselves grace because it was a new world. We're playing with no fans, we're playing with masks on and little monitors on us to see how long we're around somebody. It was weird, and it was adjustment for everyone. So I felt like we did the best we could with that year, and everyone learned and everyone, adapted as well as they could.
Okay. And after 3 years at Notre Dame, you entered the transfer portal. May I ask why? Was it
Mhm.
only because of COVID, or were there like other reasons? Because you were in Indiana, still pretty close to home, but you moved to Illinois, which is like even closer, right?
Yeah, exactly.
So was because some people said that COVID made them like rethink life
Mhm.
choices. And was
Mhm.
it the same with you that you thought, oh, I could lose time with family? It's
Mhm.
important to move closer to them so that I will spend time with them while also playing basketball because I can like live my dream closer to
Mhm.
home. So why not do that?
Yeah, family wasn't the main thing because my family would come to my Notre Dame games, 3 hour drive,
It was
and then
still pretty
Chicago
close. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
with a 2 hour drive. So I mean, family wasn't a huge, impact of mine. But when making a decision of leaving a university that you have loved since you were in third grade, I mean, watching Skylar, Kayla McBride play, leaving a university after 3 years as well, not receiving your degree is a hard decision to make, and it's not usually based off one thing, you know. So, doing a lot of thinking, and just as coaches leave schools and they change, I felt like I was entitled to change as a person. I grew. I wasn't the same person at Notre Dame that I showed up as when I was 18 years old. I had grown mentally, physically, and I felt though as though I needed some change. I felt as though I wanted to be somewhere where I had believed in myself and they believed in me just as much. I have put in so much work from the mental side of things. I had a mind coach during my time at Notre Dame. His name was Derek Grant, and he is DG Mindset. I give him, a lot of credit just for helping me grow mentally because going through a lot of trials and tribulations, it's hard mentally. You lose like sight of who you are as a player, especially when you do change roles, going from a point guard to a post, and you kind of lose yourself. So I felt like I had done a lot of work mentally, and I felt like I wanted to be somewhere where I was needed, a program that truly needed me and my talent and my effort. And it was hard to leave Notre Dame. I mean, I loved my teammates, the staff, but I just needed to bet on myself. And I knew the vision I had for myself. I knew who I wanted to be. I knew the type of player I could be. And I felt like I was outgrowing my environment at Notre Dame, honestly. And I felt like I needed a change, a new start. And I chose DePaul, and I think it was one of the best decisions of my life because I have put in that work on myself and I believed in myself. And once I got to DePaul, Coach Bruno, he believed in me just as much. And it was truly one of the best decisions I've ever made. So,
Yeah, and like from a statistical point of view, it took some time, right? Because the first year at DePaul, you're like okay, but and at the second year, it was really like you flourishing in that system. So what happened? Did you just need time to adjust, or what else needed to occur for you to like make this step and just be the player that you basically always were, become the
yeah.
player that you always were?
Yeah. I mean, I remember that first DePaul game I had played in. I think I had like, averaged that 14 or points and like 7 rebounds or so, but it was a different aura to me in my game. And like a different energy. And athletes who have been through a lot and then finally feel like themselves again or a better version of themselves again after not feeling like it for 2.5 years, like they know what I'm talking about. And it was just a completely different energy and aura to my game. I was shooting shots I hadn't shot in 2.5 years. I was making moves I hadn't made in 2.5 years. And I just felt in that moment, I was like, wow, like, whoa, this is the turning point for me, and I'm not looking back. And like you have ups and downs, I had good games and bad games in that season. I think I averaged 9 points, whatever, but ultimately I felt the best I have ever felt, on the court for the past 2.5 years. And then at the same time, I had teammates who completely just poured into me. I had coaches who poured into me, who believed in me, got me the ball in this position, got me the ball in this position. Hey, we believe you can take this shot, shoot your shot. It just all came together. The work I had been doing in myself, the way I had seen myself, they started to see me as that as well. So, I mean, that was the turning point. And then the next year, people left, people came in, and I just fully embraced who I wanted to be and the work I have been doing at Notre Dame, the mental work of things I've been doing at Notre Dame, it just flourished. And I mean, I still feel like I could give more that year. I feel like I could have done better, but ultimately I was so proud of myself and, from where I came to where I had got that year, and wish I could have won a couple more games for my team and stuff
Hmm.
and for Bruno, but ultimately I'm so blessed that I, got to learn so much about myself, and then I was able to, produce and play well for them.
Okay. And when talking about mental work, can you like give us some details as to what
Yeah.
did you do? Was it like meditation? You said already that you meditate, right? Was
Yeah.
it other exercises that you did? Like a lot of reading, a lot of, I don't know,
Yeah.
visualizing things. So
Yeah.
what did you do to just maybe not expand your mind,
Mhm.
but just make your body work in sync with your mind? Maybe
Yeah.
that was probably the main goal, right?
For sure. And I credit like everything to this. And like I said, Derek Grant, DG Mindset on Instagram, like we would meet once a week and we would just talk, and we would, talk about the deep stuff. Like people don't want to talk about like, why do you feel this way? Why are you, why do you think they look at you like this? Why do you think they perceive you like this? Or why do you perceive yourself like this? Just a lot of work, journaling, meditating, reading, podcasts. Um, and if I didn't go through what I went through at Notre Dame, those injuries, the not being playing well, not this and this, I would have never got to this part of myself. And I mean, you just have to go through things, and you have to, see life in a different perspective sometimes, and see what's it trying to teach you, how are you going to learn from this? And I just worked on myself and worked on who I wanted to be and who I saw myself as. And ultimately it got to be shown, through my basketball and through my ability to play well. But yeah, just once you like, this is how I see myself. I believe in myself. Now I'm going to put myself in an environment where everyone else can see that as well. Then you just flourish. So, I was doing a lot of work off the court. Sometimes it's not always about dribbling and shooting, but just your confidence and your
Mhm.
perspective.
Yeah. If you treat it not as an obstacle,
Mhm.
but as an experience, it totally changes your perspective on life, right?
Exactly.
So yeah. So the last question I have is, what's next for Anaya Peoples? Like after the season is over,
Uh-huh.
what do you already have plans? Are you gonna play basketball like home? Because
Mhm.
basketball is played all year round, right? You
Right.
like when the season ends in Europe, the season starts in Mexico, Puerto Rico,
Mhm.
or I don't know, like in Australia. It's happening right now. But
Mhm.
so what's do you already have plans for what are you going to do after the season is over? Like, I'm not asking about, let's say, next 5 years, but maybe like the next
Right.
year or so.
Mhm. Um, no, actually,
Okay.
right now I'm just living in the moment. I'm enjoying my time in Portugal. I'm trying to, win games for Barcelos, and I'm trying to, be the best player I can be right now and set myself up for whatever comes next, to prepare myself mentally and physically for whatever's next. But no, I'm not really looking at anything right now. I'm just trying to live in this moment, living right now. I can tell you I'm looking forward to seeing my family though. After 8 months of not seeing them, I'm excited to eat my dad's food and give him a big hug and watch movies with my mom and little brother and go to the gym, and that's what I'm looking forward right now. But career wise, we'll just see what happens next. So
Okay, okay. Thank you so much for finding the time to talk, and enjoy the rest of your season then. And obviously, I hope you can figure out what's next after the season is over. If you need figuring out, because sometimes you just don't need to figure things out. They just happen, and then you just roll
yeah.
with it, right? So it
I
depends.
appreciate it. I'm sure
So
everything will happen that needs to happen, and I'll be in a great position. So
yeah, thank you so much for finding the time, and bye. Thank you.
thank you.
Bye.